How to get a Gemini. In this video, we're going to unpack how to capture the attention of an eye that naturally has seen a lot and has experienced a lot. And in those experiences, they're able to discern what is common and what is an experience they've never seen, heard, felt before. Let's begin. Now, first of all, depending on how Gemini you are in your natal chart, that really informs how much this video relates to you. But if we just work off a stellium basis, especially in your planets, the first thing you want to be aware of is a Gemini is very much connected to unique. If this eye has never seen what it's seen before in how you uniquely show up in your personality, in your cadence, in your energy, if there's just a genuine connectedness to being very, very authentic and authentically yourself, then the eye will notice you. It won't say too much because the Gemini is also shy. There's a shyness to the sign. Number two, you must also know that the Gemini has a thing for eloquence, nice things. So if you consider the voice and being able to speak clearly and articulate clearly, and in equal measure make them laugh, you've got the attention of a Gemini. Geminis are naturally very playful. So to watch someone who holds an authenticity, which takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of confidence, and that's what a Gemini literally, like, weak in the knees for that. Being able to see someone wield their authenticity like a sword in society, amongst family, amongst friends, and they're just who they are. Yeah, Gemini notices that. In equal measure, a good voice, good way of, good speaking, being able to laugh, being able to make them laugh, and a Gemini is not someone who just laughs at anything. Hence, you gotta be something unique. If you're something unique, Geminis, they once you got their stomach, you got their attention. And if you got their attention, depth is another area that is very important. Now, not many Geminis explore this part of themselves, but let's give you the benefit of a doubt. If you're aware of your intuitive energy, then there's something more to the Gemini that you're going to entertain. If you know that spirit is one within the flesh body, if you hold an awareness of the variable existence that takes place around us, if you have an understanding of depth, and you're not just a shallow person living an earthling life about money, money, money. If you have a connection to nature, a Gemini is going to notice you. A Gemini is going to be curious. And what also provokes the Gemini, especially because there's depth, Geminis are going to know that although I see the same flesh body, because Geminis are weak for nice things that is based in the flesh, nice face, beautiful, handsome, whatever the case may be. Outside of that, if you're able to have depth to you, it means that the Gemini goes into a relationship prospectively learning about you. And a Gemini is a great student. They want to learn. This is the type of sign that literally at the age of 50, you want to start doing your masters and you don't care if you must start from scratch. The Gemini will do it. You get what I'm saying? So in a relationship context, the Gemini wants to explore the depth, because at some point the flesh is going to become boring. A bum is a bum is a bum. A chest is a chest is a chest. A muscle is a muscle is a muscle. At some point you've seen everything now. What else can you offer a Gemini? What else can that eye see? And will that eye still be entertained? And this is where normally Geminis, if they choose wisely, they have something to learn like a student. There's like a 10, 20 year, study program with your partner. You're learning. But if there's a shallowness, then this is also sparking the Gemini's disinterest and disconnect. And sometimes they float in relationships, but most of the times they float away. Why? Because the eye is not being entertained anymore. There needs to be something deep about the individual that the Gemini finds attractive. One is affirmed in what the physical eye sees in the body, and then the other is affirmed by what the inner eye, the third eye, feels in experience, in energy, in the soul. Also know that a Gemini most of the time is like hair that's not braided. So if you have a calm, well-poised demeanor and you're not looking for attention, your confidence is at peace, you're grounded, this attracts a Gemini as well. Someone who is the opposite of the electricity they experience in being like a Gemini moon or Gemini Mercury as well, and then maybe just throw in a Gemini sun. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, that individual is going to want someone who's like Moses with a staff, just grounded. Doesn't do a lot, isn't a lot, because just being Gemini is already a lot. So 2 electricity points only spark off. And like I said, it differs with people's Gemini placements and also whatever you call your trauma. Lastly, and maybe also very importantly, Gemini is very sensitive to touch. Validation in physical form and validation in just being very, very sensitive to the body, the flesh, kiss. This is a very, very important area for the Gemini to be cared for and nurtured. So if there's a fluidity, a good moon placement, then yeah, the relationship with physical affection and in equal measure validation is also important. Reminding a Gemini that they don't have to be more, they don't have to be less, they are enough. Very important. And how you do that is obviously by saying this, but also in non-verbal communication. Gemini, the back of the neck, head massages, yeah, very, very important. But just hugs as well. And not just like short hugs, like long hugs. Remember, Gemini needs grounding. So fleeting things don't really excite the Gemini. So you want to kind of keep the currency and the theme of groundedness across your whole demeanor. And naturally, if you like this, just naturally, yeah, Gemini at the right time of their life, they're not going to, at 20, that's not what you, yeah, Gemini in the 20s, you don't want to, they're still finding their vibe. Around 30, if a Gemini is still single and, out there looking for peeps, this is where the Gemini and this, what I've just mentioned up till now, all of these characteristics would align very much to the Gemini. And yeah, look at the placement of the moon, Gemini. You want to see like Capricorn moon, for example, or a Taurus moon, These are signs that will work with the calmness that you're looking for, but the affection in equal measure that you're looking for. And validation, words of validation. It's a bit hectic if you have like a Pisces moon partner. That's a lot, and take note of their Venus as well. If their Venus is in Capricorn, I think this aligns with you. Very nice sign to be in a relationship with. Not in the sun, in the sign of Venus. Venus is connected to your heart, connected to the planet that rules the themes of the heart, family, relationships, your relationship with love within yourself, etc. So keep that in mind.